that I show y'all, I teach y'all about, I'm going to let y'all know about, especially when you have to deal with government, federal, CIA, whatever it is that you have to deal with, court cases, judicial systems. I don't even care if you have to deal with people working for apps, YouTube, TikTok, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you the insight on how it is, how they play the game, how it strategized, all the way down to when the fact of it is when it's people gang stalking, when they work in groups, what they look like, how they look like, what they talk about, what's the moves and how they move, okay? So in this instant, when it comes to it, if it's meant to try to make you seem like you're mentally unstable, incapable of doing what it is that you're supposed to do. Military background, yes, I do have experience paying attention to patterns and all those insights. So I'm not getting into all the details, but I wanted to make this quick and sweet to the point. So when they need to make you seem like you're mentally unstable or unfit to do certain things and say that you have appointments, when you're dealing with government systems and depending on what kind of people are in on the inside, whether it's CPS, DDF, if it's people that work for like transportation companies, if it's people that works, to for your medications and things like that, they can call into each other, especially if they're in line of networks. All you have to do is pay attention to who they work with, where they go to school, the education. I ask random weird questions to just throw them off, like, why would somebody ask me that? I'm going to ask you where you went to college, just for, shits and giggles, snowflakes and rainbows. And they're gonna be like, why would you ask me where I went to college? Okay. That next appointment you go to, you ask them where they went to college. And then it's like simple little minute details will tell you everything that you need to know. Oh, they went to Arizona State. Oh, they went to Florida State. Oh, okay. Most of the time when they went to certain schools, most of the information, especially on doctors, lawyers, sometimes on teachers, especially if they're like school directors, board of education, their information is public record. Sometimes you're not going to find it on your phone. You will have to go to a public library to do the research on that. Especially when it comes to police officials, just as well. All that information is public records. You just ask for judicial archives, and you can find anything that you want. So when it's time for you to go for court cases and lawsuits, when you do your own, you can do your own cross examination. If you feel like you do not have the confidence enough into your lawyer, you just take that information. When you get ready to go to court, they're going to be like, do you understand? You tell them no. Please elaborate on what it is that you're saying, because they need to get you under their jurisdiction. And at that point, whatever they say is basically gameplay on their end. So once you be like, no, I do not understand, it doesn't make you incompetent. It doesn't make you seem like that. You just be like, hey, I want to do per se representation, meaning you're going to represent yourself with all the information. But you have to be aware and understand that you have to come in with all the information. You have to submit it. You have to make sure that you come through with all your proof and evidence, and it got to be submitted to the courts, to prosecution, and everybody else. Okay. Now, this is where I tell anybody, it's not a game to be played. I'm not a person to play on my life. I'm not a person to play about my kids, and I'm not a person to play about my kids' health. And when they had started to like play the game where it was like, oh, we lost your they canceled and they can't pick it up. Don't worry, I got the public recordings, especially when you realize like, hey, why doesn't nobody want to pick up this case? And you know you got a solid case, and they know you have a solid case. They will pick and choose whether they, want to take it, because like I said, they work in networks, they work in groups, and half this time, a lot of people are being so blind that these kids are being trafficked. Your children can be trafficked when you on certain medical, if you on Humana, if you on Blue Shield, especially if you on public Medicaid or Medicare. I don't care if it's a geriatric person, they can pimp out your information. Do you not know if you have an elder parent, alone, your parent alone is worth $1 million. So when you're taking them to their appointments, when you're taking them to go, and you be like, dang, they saying that I need to pay for medication. Y'all out here paying for people medications that you're not even supposed to be paying for their medication for. And a lot of people don't be knowing that or understand that that's what it is that they're not supposed to be doing, because when you go into the back end, they'll say that they don't want family members to take on your case, due to the simple fact because of how much money they are worth whenever they can go ahead and organize and get the information out to these people. Every person, an individual that gets on government assistance, you are worth $1 million. Now, they don't trust the fact that certain people, because people do be scamming government systems and overusing and abusing it, and versus using it for what it's supposed to and getting the fuck up off of it. That is the problem with a lot of people in society right now, because they overusing and over abusing. And then you get people that are part of the system that's overusing, over abusing, and then they be like, oh, you're over analyzing. No, I'm not over analyzing. I'm observing your patterns, your behaviors, and how y'all do this. How many kids are missing in the government systems when it goes to group homes, foster care, and then some? Y'all sitting here not paying attention. It's like, why does this case manager have more cases and their cases is always successful, but these cases are ended up these kids being in foster homes or illegally adopted because they felt that these parents were unfit? Them parents weren't unfit. That person knew that with particular children, they can gain so much more. And in those social work systems, these people get extra bonuses, especially when they be like, oh, you done had over 50 to 100 successful cases. They get bonuses or the increase. That's when you see that, the president be like, yes, we're going to have a financial increase when it comes to your social security, when it comes to all this other stuff. That's because, hey, the success rate of getting these people on black market, even you probably thinking you safe, like, I get medical insurance from my business or whatever the case may be. Yeah, baby, don't think you ever safe enough to not be trafficked either, because you may feel like you're safe and everything, but your information is being sold on the black market every day. And I tell all the people, like, how do you know all this stuff? Baby, I was brought up in the devil's playground. I just had enough common sense that I'm not a type of person to play on people's lives like that. You wouldn't even catch me talking about I want a sugar daddy or any of the other stuff. I can talk about it because I know how it's ran and I know what kind of people that you got to look for. But a lot of people do not have basic psychology or understanding that, hey, what goes around comes back around. Regardless, you could be a person that been sitting there tricking yourself out for the last 50 years and be thinking that the karma is not going to come back to you. Baby, over them 50 years that you done probably met over 1,000 men and took all these men money. Guess what? God gonna come back on you. Like, a lot of people get upset because just because I cuss, you're judging me. Are you God himself? No. Judge unless you want to be judged. And if I had to judge you, you're going to be more hurt because you got more insecurities than I do. There's nothing that anybody can say or do to hurt my feelings. Oh, look at how you dress. Look at how you talk. Look what kind of situation you in. That does not bother me whatsoever. Hey, bad decisions will mess up your life. And yes, you learn from your mistakes. Other people don't until you put it into their face. So I tell people, I don't play on people's mind, I don't play on people's money, and I don't play on people's time, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And when you sit in there trying to make somebody look crazy because you need to make sure that you prove a point, you gonna pay a bill that you cannot even pay at all. You're going to be thinking you cashing a check and you can't cash that check, because then it's like, why is this person still living and thriving? Baby, do you not know how many times I done had people try to go off after my life trying to unalive me? I had my own mama try to do it. I had my daddy try to do it. I had my aunt trying to do it. And I had my own cousins and my ex-husband trying to unalive me for insurance money. Black folks, y'all notorious for that. Spanish folks too, ain't nobody excluded. And y'all know I don't exclude nobody from nothing. And y'all learn the best from white folks. Everything that anybody learned is the white folks that mainly are in quote unquote power of everything. So we got to sit here and figure out how they run these banks, how they run these systems. We got to run and look up under these white folks. Do you not know how irritating when I have to talk to, there's black people that don't want to claim that they're black. Baby, just because you from the Caribbean don't mean nothing. You could be Puerto Rican, baby, you is black. When they look at you in the system, just because you fair skinned, quit trying to push yourself and talk about you white. These white folks is not going to take up for you whatsoever. And baby, they going to look over to manipulate you in every which way possible. Look at the statistics, look at the facts. I'm a factual and statistical person. So don't ever try to play or assault my intelligence when it comes to the factual parts about what it is that goes on in these systems. Because like I said, I was brought up in the devil's playground, meaning I watched my mom and I watched my dad pimp people in the music industry. I saw them pimp people with doctors, lawyers, teachers. Like, I know every fucking curse that there is that you can play on a person. It will scare you, and you'll be like, I cannot believe that that's what really happens. Yes, I've seen them take people's kids and sell them for thousands of dollars. Like, you thinking you taking innocent pictures of your grandkids and your family and you putting it on Facebook. Do you not know how much worth? If that little girl or that little boy looks pretty enough, and you like, they're fully clothed though, somebody just made $5,000 or $10,000 off that picture, whether you know it or not. That's why y'all don't ever see me post my kids like that. I'll talk about my kids, but not rarely see me post anything about my kids, because I know how much it goes on the black market. A lot of people are so unaware about what really goes on in the black market. You could go home and, like, when y'all renting these apartments, condos, villas, timeshares, there's cameras in them. Especially when they know it's time for your anniversary, when they know it's Valentine's and it's holidays, they know they fit to make money. And you sitting there thinking you making love to your wife and stuff like that, and the confidence and the privacy of this villa that you done paid maybe $20,000 or $50,000 on. Guess what? Somebody just made $100,000 off of that. And you thinking you was so secure, so private. You sitting there using that Wi-Fi from that hotel or that place. Baby, all that information is on the black web, baby. So all that love making that you thought was in the security of that apartment, that villa, that condo, or wherever you visited, it wasn't private, baby. They saw all of that. And somebody made $100K off of that, depending on the fetish, depending on what type of person, and depending on what country they sold it to. A lot of people fail to realize that's what really happens. And then when it comes to, oh, well, I had to go to a medical doctor, or say you got fired awkwardly, right? But say it was a boss that you had that you were like, why do I always have an issue with my boss, or something like that? But you notice that maybe your boss or your the people you work with have weird tendencies, or how they behave around the office or something like that. Baby, pay attention to the mannerism, how they behave. If they are very, like, egoic, or very like, I made this kind of money and stuff like that, 10 times out of 10, them people play in the black market. If not, they are into trafficking or in the ring, or it's very heavy in so many different things that I tell people, you can learn a lot from me, but don't judge me just because of the way I dress, the way I talk, or how I look. I could be a black person, but I could be the black person to save your dang life, saving your kid's life, to let you know about how a lot of this stuff is ran. These people, and even when you catch on to, like, wait, this is not right, what they said, that didn't seem right, and you start digging in and start looking for this, and then you be like, okay, why am I driving this? People driving so close to me. Because guess what? You figured them out. And when these people in these high companies and these high authority places, these systems, and they figure out that you don't, like, say if you had some medication and you're like, dang, this medication keep making me sicker, but it was meant to try to help you. Anybody needs to understand, when you getting stuff from Big Pharma, it treats the symptom. It's not to cure you. They need you to keep coming back and back and back and back and back, right? The same, it's no different in the veteran system. You are a guinea pig. When you signed up that contract to go into the military, just like I did, you signed up your life for them to be, you'll be a lifelong guinea pig to them. Oh, we got a new medication on the market. Oh, they got depression. You be like, dang, but you just had me on some lithium 1 year, and now I got to try this other 3, 4, 5 brands, and you wonder why you're getting sicker and sicker, why your weight going up and down, why you're losing your hair, why is this happening? Because it's meant to work like that. And once you catch on, like, wait a minute, let me start reading the ingredients. Wait, let me look into the company. Wait, let me look into who's running this company. Wait, and then when you start looking and y'all start digging, especially if you call yourself holier than thou, and you start linking the dots, you'll be so shocked and surprised, like, what? You basically supplying the devil himself, not even knowing it. And then when they feel like you getting too close, car accidents, people magically getting sick. If you had people in the hospital and you're like, dang, they was just getting better, and all of a sudden they sick and dying, because the secrets come out. When these people are in comas and stuff like that, like, when I say that I was set with the devil himself, it was scary, but it's like, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. And I don't like the fact that I had to sit there and see all of that. when it comes to your life and you got to figure out all this stuff like that and you get close to that, they will gang stalk you, baby. They will use police departments. They will use local civilians. But these local civilians be people that are like informants, people that been in jailhouse or, locked up. And guess what? If I offer somebody that's on drugs real bad, hey, I give you $500 or something like that. Guess what? You think they ain't gonna walk around in your house or in your neighborhood? You be like, dang, why is this person walking over here? Or you be like, or they'll clean them up really good, and you be like, dang, I've never seen this person before, baby, because they monitoring y'all. That's just what they do. I watch these high end, big paid doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that when they sleeping with these prostitutes on the side, they side chicks or the ones that they be putting up in these homes and stuff like that. They'll get them little prostitutes. They know who they can call on to go do this. This is how the ring is ran. And I'm just trying to put y'all on game. And it's free game. They will pay these people $500. Okay, of course, a crackhead gonna take $500. That's enough to get them some drugs for a month or so. Probably get them a cheap roach motel or something like that. And guess what? They running back to go tell them, hey, I saw them wearing this and this, and they went to this place. If you know anything about a crackhead, baby, they walk quick as heck. They steal quick as fuck, and they can tell anybody any kind of detail that you need to know. Tell me, and anybody know the fact I am not lying. If you get somebody that got a really bad drug habit, and you know that they always running to go draw blood, I just needed $100 so I can go do this, or they steal and stuff like that. This is a factual point. I'll pay you $1,000. It just depends on the level of the person and how much information that they can get out of these people to use it against you. But then that's when you hear people like nowadays that's coming up, you hear people talk about black magic, voodoo. Baby, people been doing this for years, okay? This stuff been going on since the 60s. I don't know if ain't nobody really told you this stuff been going on since the 60s. Y'all need to learn. Voodoo, hoodoo, santeria, all that stuff been going on for years. The women, putting their hoo-ha stuff in people's food, putting their blood in people's food. And some of y'all be sitting there looking at your friend like, what kept this man married to this crazy woman? And y'all clearly seeing that the woman ain't got no common sense. And you looking at your buddy like, what made you marry this woman? Like, she treats you like crap. I love her, man. And you be like, you know what? That's what love gonna do to you. But y'all not paying attention that this woman every morning, oh, she cooks all the food and she do all this. Yeah, she was putting all her juices up in that rice. That white rice where you can't see it. If you're an adult, you know what I'm saying. She done put that stuff in his food. So that's why you can't be eating at everybody's house, especially when you looking at people's behaviors, mannerisms, and you be like, yo, this ain't right, because it ain't right. They be putting blood in food, meatloaf. They can put the blood in meatloaf, your steak, your beef, your pork chops and stuff like that. That's why you hear like the Muslims be like, I don't eat pork, because blood is easy to hide in pork. So you got people, some of these people be having that stuff. And you be like, you'll go to the doctor and be like, I know my wife ain't cheating. I ain't ever cheated on my wife. So why do I have XYZ? And you going to chalk it up to, well, back in the day, I used to sleep around. Or back in the day, you don't know. You think it is all of that. No, it's that one person that you sat there and laid up with that had enough balls and courage to go ahead and prick themselves, if not get a dirty needle, and she mad at you because you won't leave your wife or you won't leave this person. So y'all out here cheating and creeping with these men and these women, thinking that they really got your best interest, and they ready to flip you. Because guess what? Yeah, you paying them and you funding them their houses and you giving them all this money and stuff like that. Baby, do you not know how quick the setup is fit to be once they get ready to figure out like, oh, he can't supply me no more? Oh, he's not gonna leave his wife? Oh, she's not leaving her husband? Baby, trust me, there is money on your head whether you know it or not. That's why it's so much crime of passion going on. That's why it's so much these women losing their mind and stuff like that. Well, the baby daddy wasn't here to help me, because it's called a system program, clinical research. Y'all need to figure out, why do people do clinical research? Every time you go to your doctor's appointment and y'all sign them forms where they be like, oh, it's just for us to get permission for us to treat you. No, baby, it's not permission for them to treat you. If you're Hispanic, if you're black, if you're every other race than Caucasian, you are giving sociology, epidemiology, the public health system permission to blind study you. especially if you got health conditions. Spanish people tend to have diabetes and high blood pressure. Black people tend to have high blood pressure, diabetes. Y'all tend to get sick with that other stuff as well. They blindly research you to see how you behave, what you eat, what you do, what you don't do. Are you willing to change your health? Are you not? They experiment on you guys, whether you know it or not. Read the fine print. Every time y'all signing them contracts, you're giving these people, if you gave blood work, guess what? Say that your blood could actually be, say you could have AB blood. That AB blood could actually save somebody that got bone marrow disease or some kind of brain disease, whether you know it or not. But they're not going to tell the general public that. You want to know who knows that? The top 10%. So guess what? When they kids is getting sick and them kids got bone marrow, and you're like, well, they had stage 4 cancer. They should only have about 6 weeks to live, or their organs was dying. Guess what? They waiting on your child to die because guess what? You are AB blood type. So they looking at your wife or your husband's blood type. They seeing your kids. They waiting on one of y'all kids to die to go ahead and give to them white folks your organs. Y'all know how much eyes go for in the black market? $100,000. If you got colorful eyes, go ahead and chalk that up. Depending on how colorful and how healthy your eyeballs are, your eyes can go from $100,000 to $500,000. If you got a very good healthy kidney, liver, lung, or some of y'all men, if you got healthy men parts, that stuff go for $1 million easy on the black market. If you got really good skin, like say you could be up in your 50s, 60s, 70s, right? And say that you go and your health is really, really, really good, right? And say your skin integrity is nice, they gonna wait for you to get sick in some shape, form, or fashion. They gonna give you some kind of medication, and it's gonna get you sick as hell. Mind you, you've been healthy your whole life. All of a sudden you sick. Just like count it up to how people caught that COVID, and you like, dang, how these people died from COVID? Because they were on particular medications. If you look up the ingredients that was in COVID, you will understand why these people died so fast. If you had asthma, any kind of lung disease, if you had skin conditions like eczema, it was going to take you out just like that. If you took cortisol, hydrocortisone, all that stuff, it mixed in with that, which caused these people's lungs to collapse. And like if you had throat, thyroid issues, all of that. Like people be like, how you do that? It's called research. It's called go to the library. It's called sit your butt down and really pay attention. I don't got time to be in the chess man. I ain't got time to be in the gossip. I got time to sit here and figure out, why are you looking to make people look crazy when you know these people are not crazy? Why is these people doing this to the kids? The kids are our future. We supposed to be building these children up and setting these teens. Look at these teenagers running away from home. Y'all be thinking these kids is missing, or some of them are gone because they was wanting to fight back because they want to go back home to their mama. 1,000% of the time, some of y'all people wouldn't even recognize your own kids if your kids went missing. You want to know why? Because they trafficked them so bad in the system that these kids, their minds is so warped to a point that you will be like, my baby is home, my baby is home. And you finally get that missing child that you've been looking for the last 20, 30 years. Baby, their mind is gone. Anything that you try to instill is gone, baby. The only thing they know is them streets. The only thing they know is how to get tricked out. The only thing they know how to do is get fast money. And you sitting there wondering why they don't love me. And I'm looking to care for my kids, and I'm looking to do this. Because, baby, they done turned them out. Even as far as, you heard of people being on Social Security, Section 8 for 50 years. How the fuck you on Section 8 for 50 years? You don't have enough common sense to say, I'm going to keep working for the man. No, the goal is to get up off of it. This is not 1970 no more. 1970, when they built that stuff, it was meant to break up the homes. Do you not know Hispanic people were like, I feel so sad. Like, I'd be wanting to cry every day when I had to read that they were looking to sterilize Hispanic women due to the simple fact because the rapid rate that they're able to conceive kids, and they have very healthy uteruses. The men have very healthy sperm and things like that. And they were looking to do a genocide of sterilizing these people. Black folks, they knew that they could get to them for mental because how bad they were set in slavery. The same folks with the Tainos, the Native Americans, it was the same thing. And y'all not doing y'all due diligence when y'all sitting here talking about, okay, guess what? When my mama was growing me up on that Section 8 and that welfare and stuff like that, I watched everything. Down to how these massage parlors was ran, these cars, all this stuff, the hospital. I watched all of that. And I had one thing in my mind. I'm not fit to be a product of my environment. Just because I was brought up in the hood, you can be in the hood, but not of it. I might be hood, but I'm not of it. I had enough common sense that I knew, hey, I needed to make good grades. I didn't have nobody to tell me, hey, you know, with you being on the A honor roll, you can get this scholarship. I had nobody telling me that. Because you want to know why? My aunt was pimping me out. So every time that I wasn't in the care of my mama and my mama wasn't only pimping me out, my auntie was doing it. When my auntie wasn't doing it, my daddy was doing it. But I had enough sense like, how do I get out of this? And I knew, okay, well, if they gonna help me pay for housing, this give me enough time that I can work me about 3-4 jobs. I can get my money up, save at least about 50,000. If I can get close to it, it might take me shit. If you're making 30,000 a year, hey, it's gonna take me maybe about 3-4 years. If I'm only paying $25 for my bills and stuff like that, guess what? You gotta have enough sense to say, hey, well, with this paycheck and I'm only coming out of pocket right here.
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah, you can park right here real quick. Like, I had enough common sense of how to use this system to get off the system. And then especially when you know how to get out, that's how you do it, baby. But that's the name of the game. I'll be back live again.